It may be March Madness for basketball fans, but for the NFL, this week the league owners are meeting. And our Bills insider and Sirius XM NFL co-host Vic Carucci is here to update us on what's happening at the league meeting. And Vic, can you fill us in on some of these new changes that have been voted on?
What's being called as the swivel hip drop. And what that is a tackling technique, the defender getting behind offensive player, the ball carrier, basically grabbing him from behind and leaving his feet to use all of his weight to bring that guy to the ground. The league, through data research, said that many injuries were resulting from this tactic, so they see it as a safety concern. It will now be penalized, a 15-yard penalty, a big one. But Claudine, the concern I have with this, and players were opposed to this, the NFL union the players union was opposed to this. How are the officials going to determine what is the swivel hip or just a tackle from behind, just a simple tackle? The game is football, and you have to tackle.
Vic, we also saw an emotional Coach McDermott at the meeting. Tell us about that and how losing players he drafted becomes somewhat personal for him.
Yeah, not a surprise to see his reaction to the departure of Tre'Davious White, because this was his first pick. That was his first draft. And he was building this team methodically from, especially on defense, from the back to the front. Those two safeties he signed, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, the two first free agents, they're gone. And now Tre'Davious White, the first draft pick he had in that 2017 draft, gone. There's definitely some emotion there, but frankly, and Sean's been at this long enough, and we've all been around it long enough, the business of football overtakes all the emotion of football, maybe unfortunately.
You're right about that. It really is a business. We know that the draft is right around the corner. What can Bills fans expect the team to do?
Yeah, so I think their free agent shopping has been pretty solid. I'm willing to give them like a B grade on that. Maybe some would go a little lower because it wasn't a splashy free agency period for the Bills. But they addressed, I think, the right areas, retained a couple of key people, and one of the biggest signing they made was Curtis Samuel, a wide receiver, had been with Washington and Carolina before that. So they know something about him because Brandon Beane had been in Carolina when he was drafted back in 17. But I still think the priority for this team is to continue to try to enhance the offense through a wide receiver selection. I think that will be the priority because this draft has a lot of good ones. At least that's what the analysts are saying. And then beyond that, probably another cornerback, even though they have the replacements there with Tre'Davious White gone. But I still think they would address that because, again, that's another position where this draft is considered rich.
It's going to be interesting. NFL insider and WGRZ contributor Vic Carucci, as always, thank you so much for coming on the 530 with your insight.
My pleasure.